So, aside from procrastination, of course. So, a large part of it's got to do with judgment. Actually, the reason why we all self sabotage is due to judgment. Self judgment, judgment of other people, judgment of the work, judgment of whatever that's necessary. It is judgment. And of course, it doesn't feel very nice to know that someone is judging us, especially if the judgment is unfair, right? So how do we actually overcome that? How do we, or rather, what is the reason why judgment exists? And in this video, I will attempt to explain that, right? So judgment is something that normally people feel should not happen. Is that no, you should not judge. But the truth of the matter is, we have no choice but to judge. To be honest, we have no choice but to judge. And the reason why is because judgment is a survival mechanism. Whenever we are doing certain things, we want to create a judgment within ourselves to identify whether or not something is working or not, whether or not something is useful to us or not. And the root cause, the root of it, has got to do with whatever it is that we hold to be valuable. So back in the time of the caveman, in the split second, if let's say they saw a prey, right? Back in the times of cavemen, they saw a prey hopping into a ravine or some place where there's a lot of trees covering it. They would make a judgment. They would make a judgment whether to pursue or to hold back. So they need to make a judgment taking into account of all the various different factors. Is there a predator behind that bush? Is there other dangers? Are we when we rush all over there? Is there like a cliff going down, or is that like a safe clearing? We do not know, right? So it is during these moments where judgment starts to happen, and accumulation of the same scenario over and over again will create within us a sort of pattern, which then turns into a belief. We look at it and we go like, oh yeah, every time this happens, this is the result. So after a while, the moment we see this pattern, it doesn't even matter whether or not it will result in this. We automatically make the association that it's going to result in this. And because we don't like this, we go like, okay, I'm not gonna do this. Bad, evil, bad. So the root of judgment of it all is a survival mechanism. We want to know whether something is useful or not. Essentially, that is it. But the problem of judgment happens when we start to make it an automatic behavior rather than a conscious behavior. So it is okay to judge. It is just that we don't want to make automatic judgment. So as an example, one person may look at another person and judge the other person for being poor or have no money. And that is so-called bad, regarded by society as bad. But we don't actually know what's going on in the minds of that person. In the minds of that person, maybe the person who's judging, it is very, very possible that the reason why they are judging is because they are scared, they're terrified of the prospect of being where this person is. So they mask it with some sort of, with some form of facade, to show their sense of superiority so that they can keep it there. So once again, judgment is a survival mechanism, and it is actually a very useful mechanism. It's just that we cannot afford to misuse judgment. When it is misused judgment, it doesn't give results. It sabotages us. It ruins relationships all around us. So how do we use judgment as a tool properly? Well, very simple. We gotta live consciously. What do you guys know about living consciously? If you guys think, I want to ask you guys, what is the meaning of living consciously to you? And if you can, type it down in the comments. let me see, right? And what I would like to do is let's have more conversations surrounding this topic. If let's say if you guys are keen on wanting to know more about how to live consciously, let me know in the comments as well, so that I know what to talk about in the future. In the meantime, that's all my sharing for today. Happy to be here, happy to talk to you guys. I shall be back tomorrow at 6:45 a.m. In the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, stay true. See you soon.